Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of our recap series for Masters of the Air, and I'm thrilled to have you here with me again. Before we dive into today's recap, I want to give you a heads up. This discussion will include spoilers from the latest episode. So, if you haven't watched it yet, you might want to pause here, catch up, and then come back to join us. All right, with that said, let's jump right into the action and drama of Masters of the Air. Our series starts out on the runway, where Bucky raises a toast to his fallen comrades alongside Lieutenant Curtis Biddick. "I don't feel a thing," he exclaims, before urging Kurt to hit him as hard as he can. Kurt complies, and Bucky admits it felt good, then reveals he has to meet the new CO tomorrow morning. Later that day, Major Chic Harding presents a stark contrast to Colonel Huglin. During their meeting, Bucky gets his much-sought demotion, meaning he'll be flying again. He suspects his friend Buck might have put in a word for him. Sometime after, we meet Sergeant Ken Lemons, a ground crew chief whose team is responsible for patching up the B-17s. He's chatting with some local children when a new pilot crashes nearby, clearly with no survivors. At the local pub, Sergeant William Quinn is playing dice while the U.S. pilots chat with a rather plummy British airman. He explains how the RAF conducts nighttime raids, which are safer but allow for indiscriminate bombing. Alluding to the losses the Americans have suffered, Kurt responds that U.S. airmen prefer to hit their targets. The posturing soon escalates, and the mustachioed British pilot challenges them outside. Kurt promptly knocks him down with one punch. "They can't hit their target at night," he shouts. Lieutenant Crosby then explains how the Americans conduct daytime precision bombing using a new technology called the Norden Bombsight, which allows for precise targeting. Outside of the atomic bomb, it was the most closely held secret of the war, he says. The 100th's next mission is the submarine pens in Trondheim, Norway. With Bubbles sick, Lieutenant Crosby will be the unit's lead navigator, flying with Bucky. Despite another bout of illness, Crosby eventually finds the target. Kurt's fort, however, takes a nasty hit, and one of his engines is destroyed. The 100th manages to drop their bombs on the submarine pens, and amid the fear and flak, there's a moment of dark comedy when Crosby puts on his helmet and mistakes the vomit inside for his own blood. Kurt is forced to drop out and return home, but Bucky decides to wait for him and escort him back, asking Crosby to come up with a new flight plan. Crosby suggests they fly into the clouds to evade enemy fighters and head for the coast of Scotland. Kurt endures a rough crash landing but just about makes it. Later, an impressed Bucky finds Crosby and tells him he has the job full-time. At the club later, the men drink and chat with ladies, while Buck receives a call from Kurt, who's in Scotland, drinking whiskey with the locals. He calls to thank his friends for sticking with him over the North Sea and ensuring they got home. The evening ends with a bicycle race around the barracks, but it's soon interrupted by air raid sirens. The Germans are hitting Norwich. As they watch the raid from afar, Buck tells Bucky about his childhood in Casper, where his father gambled away their money, leaving them to sleep on park benches. That RAF prick was right. These daytime missions are suicide, he concludes. But we lead our boys through it. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up to let me know. And if you're new here or haven't done so yet, consider subscribing and hit that bell icon so you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.